Hello, everybody. I'm reading again to you out of Spark Storybook Bible, page 262, called Walking on Water. The disciples were just waking up on their boat. They had been out on the water all night. Yawn, stretch. It was so early the sun wasn't even up yet. Andrew rubbed his eyes and looked into the fog. "Hey," he whispered, "do you see what I see?" "Oh, it's a ghost," James cried out in fear. The disciples were shaking in their sandals. They were terrified. Through the fog, they could see the outline of a person walking on the water. It was Jesus. "Don't be afraid, it's just me," Jesus said. He waved a friendly hello. "If it's really you, Jesus, tell me to walk on the water," Peter said bravely. "Okay," Jesus shrugged. "Come on out, Peter. The water's fine." Gulp. Peter swallowed hard. He placed one foot onto the water. Plop. It didn't go under. He tried the other foot. Plop. He was standing. He kept his eyes glued on Jesus as he took a few careful steps. He walked faster and faster. Splish, splash. Only his feet were getting wet. Jesus smiled at him. Peter felt the wind blowing on his face. He took his eyes off of Jesus and looked up at the dark clouds. He felt afraid. Uh-oh, his ankles were wet. Uh-oh, his knees were wet. Uh-oh, Peter was sinking. "Help me, Jesus. Save me," he yelled. Jesus reached out his hand and pulled Peter out of the sea. "Why did you stop looking at me?" Jesus asked, holding tightly to his friend. "Don't you trust me?" The wind stopped. They climbed into the boat full of cheering disciples. "Hooray, this proves it," they said. "You really are the Son of God." From that day on, the disciples were excited to tell everyone they met about the power of Jesus. The book I'd like to read to you tonight is called The Most Magnificent Thing. It's written by Ashley Spires. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things. He unmakes them. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it. And she makes things all the time, easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It's all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square, she makes it round, she gives it legs, she adds antenna, she makes it fuzzy, she makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small, one even smells of stinky cheese, but none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. Crunch. The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It's not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's not much help at first, but before long she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong thing that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering and hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. The afternoon fades into the evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. The pair took a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. You know, sometimes we get frustrated, we keep trying to do something and it just doesn't work and we want to give up. Like Peter did when he was walking on the water. He took his eyes off of Jesus and he started to sink. He gave up. And this little girl gave up too when she got frustrated. And that's pretty normal. But I want you to keep going, keep trying, keep bringing that idea out that God has given you. And that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and he will give you everything you need. Have a wonderful night. Sleep in peace. God is awake.